Yo guys, I'm HP, this is Dr. Pink, and today's topic is high intensity rock lead guitar tricks. It's a long phrase. I'll show what more or less we're going to talk about today. Yeah, and so on, and so on, and so on. Just a warning, we will not talk about licks. We will talk about how you bring high intensity in your rock lead guitar. And this track here I produced is 120 BPM. All my tracks are self-productions, of course, because I'm a professional composer. And 120 BPM is of course high intensity because it really pushes, but it makes the lead guitar quite tricky. Because why? If you want to go for double time, it's going to be exhausting, and the track itself already has a lot of drive. So we need to learn how to make a counterpoint to the drive of the track, but still keep the intensity as high as possible. And this is the tricks we're going to talk about today. But the first of all is, of course, what type of sound do we select? As you can hear, I have a lot of delay on the sound. This is a Soldano amp on maximum gain, of course. And to give it more sustain, I put on a compression, quite a hard one, 5:1 ratio, a tube compression to have a really maximum sustain. As you can hear, the tone stays forever because we have maximum gain, high gain, plus 5:1 compression, and I would select the tube compression because that gives more the character of the guitar sound into the compression and makes it more sustainable. That's the first thing. And now here comes a trick, one of the main tricks, and therefore we're going to the closio. Of course, you need to have your things a little bit together, otherwise you cannot follow what I'm talking about here. But still, the things I'm going to show to you make your life way more easy than if you go for the hard parts. One of the tricks is what I always do when I have a really intense track, as this one. That one's a lot of drive, a lot of tension. And if you want to go over this tension, it's going to get really hard because you need to noodle like crazy. And that won't work. Well, you can noodle, but what is better is to create counterpoints. So intense counterpoints. And how you do that, that's why I was talking about the sound. Long notes, but intense notes. So we are here in the key of D minor, and I'm using a drop D tuning. And I'm playing in the positions down here. And also we are playing in the Dorian mode. This is a rock tune which you could use just pentatonic, but if you want to give more tension, then I strongly recommend that you use the Dorian mode. Why? Because when you start, the defining note of Dorian is the B, or the here. You can make a half tone bending here on the B or also here, but it's more shiny up here. Okay? I switch off the delay for now to show you the stuff. And then you make this interval here from the note, the B, here to the F. This creates a tritone, and that's the most intense interval you can have. Only with this phrase you create a lot of intensity. I'm going to show you. Wait, hold on. Let's do this now. Okay, it's really cool. Here again the B. Text works really nicely. And I have the delay on again. It's a bit tricky to show. I need to have it off. So when you work here with the tritone, it works really great. And you don't need to play fast, you just give a counterpoint, but of course you need a lot of tone control to get the intensity out. And one trick to make intensity, of course, the vibrators, and what I always do is to make it more intense, is to accelerate to the end of the note. You can also just make a quarter tone bending to give it more intensity. And then you go in the low. And of course in the low position you go for the Zach Wild vibe, you just do a lot of pitch harmonics. And with a really high gain distortion it's way more easy. And then you have a lot of intensity and you can keep it up. And the other thing is, don't play all the time. I'll show you. Because if you play all the time from the very beginning, it's going to get really hard to keep the high intensity up. Also let the other music breathe. So you can work a lot around this lick here, and it's quite cool. Now you of course want to have kind of runs, but you don't want to get too exhausted. A really good trick to make runs and let them sound interesting is this trick here. So you make a 16-note run with hammer on a really simple one, which you probably already know. This one here. Or you can do this one here. The same one here in the low position. Then you repeat the same phrase again, but you don't start on beat, you start off beat. So it's gonna be. I'll show you in the track. It's a really good trick to spice up simple stuff. Now I always use the same lick here. But you can just, if you do it here, you can make it. Maybe we go up here. So let's see how that one sounds. Same trick, but now we're shifting with the lick. Yeah, it works. Jumping here in the 17th fret is quite tricky, but it works. Or you can do it like this if you want. Or you make it. But it's too complicated. Then you just go back here. That also works. Has the same effect. Let's do that. Yeah, it works quite well. What I also did here, again on this bending here on the B, half tone bending or quarter tone, that you noodle around this half tone and resolve it again here with the tritone on the root note. That works really nice, okay? And in combination with that alone sounds quite cool. You can do the same phrase down in. You can do the same here, the same trick. You just play a 16 note on one block and then you just move it to the offbeat. Let's see the combinations of these tricks here, how they work. Now we're going to add some double stops. This one is quite cool. Why? Because it has its dissonance which resolves. Pink here on the 13th, and you make the bending on the 12th. And you just jump in and sounds like a firefighter car which is approaching. It's quite cool. What also works quite cool if you just pop in chords. Just a simple one here. Sounds quite cool. That was the wrong spot. Let's go to the beginning. Also gives a lot of high intensity. Now the last but not least, tremolo picking works great, of course. Now we have the double time, we want to have it somewhere, and if it's too hard for you, you can just keep it on one string, because on one string it's not too hard. And the main trick for tremolo picking is go on the neck pickup, hold the pick a little bit loose, you know that it moves a bit like this, and then just then you just on one string is no problem. When you start skipping strings, then you probably need a good warm up. I don't know if it works. Yeah, it's, you know, changing the strings can be tricky. There you need a bit more practice, but just on one string it's not too hard, but you have basically the same effect. You know, you don't need to do the string skipping thing, and you have quite a cool effect. In combination probably let's try this. Works quite well, but I would not exaggerate it, just that you have something where you can just push it in, and then of course you have to do the Dorian scale. Yo, these were all tricks which work and give you basically the toolbox which you need to play a high intensity rock lead guitar. As I said, don't try to go with the speed, try to make counterpoints and stay intense. That's the main trick. I'm gonna put everything together now. to show you how it can work. Of course, only my opinion. I mean, you can do whatever you want. That's not a problem for me. Guys, these were some high-intensity rock lead guitar tricks. My tricks, as I already said, is just my opinion. You can, of course, do anything you want, but from my point of view, I was trying to see music as a whole, and if you have a really high octane and driving track, try to always make counterpoints to what is happening, and also try to listen to the music you're hearing. That's really important. If you just noodle around over the whole thing, it's probably cool for you, but a student of mine yesterday said when he just noodles, his wife doesn't like it, but when he plays just a few notes, then she comes and says, oh, that was really cool. That's probably a good example. What probably might be the difference if you just noodle or you try to interact with the music, and when it has this high intensity, not to go for the maximum speed, just try to make a counterpoint, and that works really well with these tricks which I just showed. But of course it's not so easy as it looks like, and one important thing which I could not show just before is to get into the vibe of the song. You know, when you play like a 2-minute solo, to feel what exactly is the right thing to do requires some mental work, you know. And what I always do, I work with colors. I want to express Czech Farbmusik. I want to express the intensity of red and give it into the tune. And that's my main focus, to express the intensity and not to play licks. That's the main difference probably between me and other players who show licks. I mean, I'm going to write down for you a few ideas I just said. It's going to be available in the HPCrazy guitar community, plus this cool backing track. But try to get the licks just as ideas, but the main focus has to be get into the mood, get into the vibe, and live the music, live the intensity. That's what is more important. And then, just by magic, suddenly stuff works. And you probably play the stuff you always played, but you played it with a different vibe. And my idea is just give you some more ideas. If you like them, you can take those ideas, or you take your own ideas and try, but still try to think about the counterpoint and all this stuff, and then you're going to be cool. Yo, I already mentioned the HPCrazy guitar community. If you love what me and Dr. Pink are doing for the guitar community, please join there. There you can download this cool backing track I produced, plus the tabs of the licks or the ideas I showed, if it was too fast for you. And you also support the work which me and Dr. Pink are doing for the guitar community. And please share to the world that me and Dr. Pink are existing. See you guys.